on today? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Did you guys see what Becky Hammond just said? What did Becky Hammond just say? Well, Becky Hammond did not mince any words today. She said today that, she said she was on ESPN. She said about the Knicks, they're not getting into that tier, don't have the personnel, don't have that manpower. Pretty good team, but at the end of the day, they don't have a dude. You got to have a 1A dude. Kendrick Perkins says they do have that dude, Jalen Brown. He got cut off. He goes, nah, he's too small. If your best player is small, you're not winning. John Stockton, Allen Iverson, Steve Nash, you can go down the list. Steph Curry, he's in a different class. Yeah. Wow. You're not winning. Steph Curry is the only dude. Do we agree with that? Josh, do you agree with that? I tried to get guys on from Company of Jace today. They are in that Twitter, which is awesome. And I was like, come on over to the dark side. Come over to my side. Let's talk a little bit. But I saw that and I was like, damn. But you know what? Someone brought up a good point. Ashley Nickelmoss says, love Becky Hammond. She's goated. But this topic is so ran into the ground at this point. We are fully aware that the Knicks are a 1A guy away from being true contenders. The fans know this. The city knows this. And the organization knows this. Let's move on. But you can't move on. You know what I mean? And now you lost Mitchell Robinson. So Hardenstein's going to have to step up. And, you know, he's supposed to be out for 8 to 10 weeks, but then he had ankle surgery, so they had to do surgery on the ankle, and he's going to be out. So they won last night, got balanced scoring from everybody. The Nets, they're talking about the Nets. A bunch of guys I'm reading that they have draft picks coming up, and everybody can be, I guess, they have a good young nucleus. I can see Dinwiddie go, but I think you keep Bridges. You just re-signed, you signed Cam Johnson. I don't know. I mean, they're 13 and 14. They really don't, they don't have a really physical team. They have a bunch of complementary players. I want to see what Cam Thomas can do, but they're competing. I guess they'll be a 500 team this year. That's okay. But is that enough to take it to the next level? Not right now. No, and you got rid of the headaches, but there's going to be a lot of work going ahead to make this happen. So we'll see what happens going forward, and we'll go from there. But, yeah, I watched the game last night. I watched UNC, 81-69. Whenever they needed a big bucket, they got one. And what did I see? R.J. Davis, 7 straight games, led the team in scoring. That hadn't happened since – I want to get this right. That hadn't happened for UNC since Taylor Hansborough back in 2007-2008 season when he was the National Player of the Year. He's had seven straight games, scored at least 23 in those sevens. Also was his 7th game in his 4-year career at UNC with 20 points, 5 assists. They're 7-0, but that was his first game with no turnovers. Baycott played well. They knocked off an unbeaten team. We are down to 3 unbeaten teams in college basketball. James Madison, Houston, and Ole Miss. That's it. I saw Duke beat Baylor, and it was funny because I saw Baylor people when I was in the subway yesterday, and I was thinking, are they playing in the city today? I was like, nah, that can't be in the city. Yes, it was. And Duke got the win they beat the higher-ranked team in Baylor. Yeah, I can't. I just want them to keep losing. I'm not a fan at all. At all. No, not even close. No, so not a fan, and just, don't like them. Don't like them at all, and, I can't root for them. No, I can't. I just can't. It's okay. It's okay. But they're Duke, and Duke will always be that. And what's funny? I really wasn't a UNC before I went to grad school. Never happened. But once I got there, but I never liked Duke. Always was anti-Duke. Always anti-Duke. And this was an interesting stat I saw yesterday, that fewest games missed since the start of 2019-2020. Brooklyn Bridges, 0. Buddy Hield with 3. Zubac with 12. Royce O'Neal with 14. George Niang with 16. And Julius Randle, 18 games total miss. So we can say what we want about him, but he always, hey, this Kev. Every day, he's always playing. Yeah, I'm having connection problems with Instagram. Travis Kelce needs 9 catches Monday to pass Tony Gonzalez for most ever versus Raiders, and 136 yards to pass Gonzalez. 100. Yeah, Gonzalez has the most catches 114 and most receiving yards, 1,515 yards ever against the Raiders. Random stat. So he needs 9 catches, a buck 36, which could happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but it could happen. Seton Hall got their biggest win ever over a top 5 team. They won in Newark. What do they call it? The Rock? The Rock yesterday, 75-60. I was like, all right, good. Got to win. That's a nice win. I thought that was awesome. And, great talking to Blackbeard Jeff today. That was awesome. Had a blast with him. What he does is amazing. Jamal Murray got his first win in Toronto since December 3rd, 2018. He'd been 2-4 in his previous 6 games. That was, wow. I saw that. So the Knicks won. Randall led with 26. Cam Johnson had 20. And people were pissed because Cam Thomas sat the fourth quarter. I saw all the college football, the teams with the best, the signing day. Miami's top of the ACC. Georgia, Florida lost a bunch, but they got a 5-star quarterback. Now, if any of these guys pan out to be what they are, they also got a guy from Florida State. Florida State wants out of the ACC. I mean, that means they'd probably want to go to either SEC or Big Ten. Big 12, if that falls through. Someone said they should go to the Pac-2. But I can see that they're pissed how things turn out. It doesn't matter. We're going to 12-team playoff next year. But they feel like, I guess, the money and the recognition isn't good in the ACC. And, we're just going to have a Super League. They're talking soccer. They're trying to do it again. UEFA is not behind it. But they're going to have a super. You're going to have the top teams. And then there's going to be everybody else. And that's the way it's going to be going forward. That's just going to be. It's inevitable. It's going to be money. It's always about money. And, we're going to see what happens. But I think it's going to change a lot. So the future is going to be interesting. And thank God we're going away from the 14 playoff. You need more teams. Especially this year, a lot of teams should have been in the playoff that weren't. I mean, Georgia should have been in. Florida State should have been in. There was a lot of teams, at least 8 teams, 9 teams that should have been in. 8 teams at least this year. And it didn't happen. They're saying Max Crosby this year, ML Football says, league leader in solo tackles with 46, 14 sacks, a 92 Pro Football Focus grade, 19 tackles for loss, 72 quarter pressures, and best run defender since week 8, 98% snap rate. I mean, he's always on the field. I don't disagree. I like the way, but they're a losing team. And I mean, listen, I wish he was playing on a better team. And, Tua, the critics, he said he's only good because of Tyreek Hill. He says, I'm the worst football player. Dude, don't take that shit. Just ignore them. Let them say what they want. Let your actions speak on the field. It's not because of Tyreek Hill. You're a good quarterback. You're a very good quarterback. You have ups and downs, but, you've had a good season. And fuck them. Don't listen to them. Who gives a shit? I don't care. Really? I love the Lakers losing 3 straight. They win the in-season tournament. They've lost 3 straight, 4 to the last 5. I love that stuff. Good. Goodbye. See ya. Adios. Yeah, because, so stupid. Yeah. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. Yeah, so now, Mitchell Robinson screws in his, so he's done. They're trying to get a $7.8 million, what is that called? A disability, what do they call that? A player exemption? Yes, disabled player exemption. Hey, I talked about it yesterday. They brought it up too. DeMarcus Cousins playing over in Taiwan. Why not do that? And I also talked about Maria Sanchez got a 4-year, $1.5 million deal with the Houston Dash. Hey, what's up there, Rob? Maria Sanchez grew up scrimmaging older boys in Idaho. She finished high school with a state record 178 goals. Her first pro deal was for $14,584 a year. At 27, she's the NWSL's highest paid player. That's awesome. First contract, $14,000, and now she got a 4-year deal, which in that sport, still, it's not retirement money, but it's definitely more money than she's ever made before. Help out the family, do a bunch of stuff. That's awesome. I thought that was great. And I was reading The Athletic about R.J. Davis. He's playing like an All-American. Best regular season start in the last 5 seasons, which 8-3. That's not really great. He said, I feel like this is the first time that he's being celebrated, supported, encouraged, and noticed. Hubert Davis said, I love that. And, he's listened to his dad, who's always telling the same thing. R.J. Davis, let your game do the talking for you. Yeah, I love that. Guess who's the first player to speak up in every in-game huddle? Guess who invited new teammates to hang out this summer to build camaraderie, to shoot every morning in the Dean Smith Center? R.J. Davis. How far can he take the team? Hey, listen, They should be back in the AP top 10 after the win over Oklahoma. They were chanting Davis, Davis. Do you think now after the string of performances that the results like this that your son is finally getting the respect he deserves? They asked him. And, he basically said, that, you do love having Hubert as coach. He says, yeah, he said that he kind of plays with a chip on his shoulder. And his dad was a big scorer in college, too. So I thought that was kind of, so the dad pushes, kind of like Jalen's dad, Rick, pushes him. Yeah, okay, you like Hubert? Josh, listen, they looked really good last night. Whenever they needed a big shot, they had a big shot. Guys were stepping up. They were up 15. I thought they were going to blow it. I know it was kind of like a home game. It was in Charlotte. But against the team, they haven't really, and they, first time ever, they played in 6 games. They played 5 teams in the AP top 25. Never happened in the program's history, which I thought was kind of remarkable. But they've played a lot of good teams this year early, which I think tested them. Hey, they lost to Kentucky, but they lost a tough game. I think they're still, Cadeau is playing better. He can't really foul shoot, but I think they're playing better. They're gritty. The kid Ingram from Stanford, and I love Cormac, right? That's Cormac, the kid, him. I love him. I love him. Yeah. There's just something about him that I love the way he plays basketball. And I really liked, I'm looking up right, UNC basketball. They won last night. I want to look up the stats. Let me see if I can get the stats. All right. Player stats here. That's what I was trying to look up. So Baycott had 14 and 8. Ingram had 11 and 7. He had a nice putback. Yeah, Cormac Ryan, 13. Cormac Ryan is playing his ass off. I really like the way he plays. Cadeau at 7. Seth Trimble had a big play on D. He had 5 points. Washington had a putback at one point. Yeah, Wojcik is not playing a lot, but Cormac Ryan, I like him. I like him a lot. He was a great pickup, and I think he's going to only get better as the season goes. I mean, he's been playing since the beginning of the season, so I like that. I like that a lot. So we'll see what happens. Hey, it's nice to be excited about things, right? I mean, hey, and today is the 132 years ago. Happy birthday to the game of basketball, born 132 years ago today. Thank you, Dr. Naismith. 132 years ago. Bob Stanky, thank you for that. And North Carolina women, 27 points away from being 12-0. They've lost their 4 games by 8 points or less. Hey, loses South Carolina, UConn, and Kansas State. Nothing to shake a tail feather out. The thing is, 3-point shooting not as great. Eva Hodgson, last year, she graduated 42% from 3. Kennedy Todd Williams, 32%. They're both, she went to Ole Miss, so she left. And they're shooting 36%, a couple players. No other players shooting, a couple shooting over 36%. But as a team, they're shooting 29% of the season, and their 4 losses, they're shooting 20%. But they're 8-4. It's still early in the season. They played it tough. I think it's only going to help them going forward. I definitely do. I definitely think that that's a positive going forward. So, yeah, and on January 10th, before the Nevada Supreme Court, John Gruden will argue that his leaks lawsuit against Roger Goodell and the NFL should continue in open court with discovery. Don Van Natta Jr., thank you. Let it go. Move on. Now, I thought this was hilarious. So, Heineke's taken over for Desmond Ritter. Josh Kendall reports on the Falcons. And he shows up, Taylor Heineke, wearing a Busch hoodie. He said, I got fined for drinking Busch Light on the Commanders team playing last year, so they sent me a bunch of stuff. That's good. Yeah, that's good, but that's good business. Can't drink. Hey, let's just send him some beers. I thought that was pretty cool. Send him some beers. Yeah, Desmond Ritter is not coming back. Come on, let's be honest. And he's not the quarterback next year. Yeah, you appreciate everything he's done. Arthur Smith said, Desmond is a very tough-minded kid. We love Desmond. He'll be a play away. There aren't easy decisions. The ball could bounce his way again. No. The ball, you're going to be gone. If that happens, you're gone. History. Adios. Say no more. Goodbye. Yes, that's what I have to say. He sucks. He really does. He's not a good player. He's not a good player at all. No, not even close. Not a fan. I'm not a fan of Arthur Smith. I don't think he's a good coach. I think it's time for them to look in a new direction. They got the Colts, Taylor, and Michael Pittman Jr. Taylor has a repaired right thumb. He's going to try to practice. He's playing this weekend. Of course he is. And Pittman's going to play too. Come on. That's definitely happening. I can't believe that he's not going to play. And Rob sent me this. Brock Purdy making $870,000. And I saw this before, that NIL value for Arch Manning, $2.8 million. dude, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money. And this was kind of cool. Devil stars Jack and Luke Hughes. There's a nonprofit Hockey New Jersey, and so they're involved with that with inner city kids in Newark, near the Rock. They're developing like hockey for these kids, inner city kids. And I love that Jack and Luke Hughes are involved in that. And what I see that Yager's entering his 36th season of playing hockey this year, I thought that was crazy. And today, on this date, 1997, the Jets are trying to go from a one-win team to the playoffs, and they lost the last game to the Lions 13-10. And in that game, Barry Sanders went over 2,000 yards. So on this date in 1997, Barry Sanders went over 2,000 yards. Thought that was pretty cool. I watched the video. Oh, and did you see this? So Williamson only played, Zion Williamson only played 29 games last season. By missing more than 22 games, it triggered a clause that turned the salaries owed in 2025-26, 26-27, and 27-28 from guaranteed to non-guaranteed. Now, he can get this money back, and he has to have weigh-ins and his total body fat and weight can't be above, I think if he's 285, he's got to keep the body fat at 10%. And they were ripping him during the in-season tournament, Shaq and Chuck, saying he looked out of shape and everything. And that's been a thing with him. They said this was the first off season where he really put the work in. I don't know. I kind of feel that. If he misses significant time this season, it would cut his guaranteed salary for next season. Yeah. I think that's pretty awesome. I think that's the way it has to be. I think these guys, if he's not going to you're just throwing the money away. Also, they're protecting themselves in case he has any further significant issues with the fifth metatarsal in his right foot. If he suffers a fracture or a stress injury to that bone in the healed callus, or has what the contract calls a hardware failure related to the previous injury, then half of his base salary for next season would no longer be guaranteed if the team released him, which I don't think they're going to do, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah. I thought I was like, wow, dude, that's wow. Now, Joel Embiid had a lot of injuries his first contract, so they did that with him. That they had some playing time protections. Jonathan Isaac signed a 4-year extension with the Magic that runs through the 24-25 season, but is only partially guaranteed because he's had a lot of injuries his first 3 years. Yeah. And he said he worked on his body like you're not working on your body like LeBron, dude. Not even close. Let's be honest here. Come on. Bullshit. I call bullshit. I mean, I hope he does. And then people say, well, we'll bring him to the Knicks. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I want him here. I got to be honest. I don't know if I want him here. I don't know if he puts the work in. I'm not 100%. I think he's a great talent, but I think he's kind of a mess. Now, Sunday, J.P. Finley, this is awesome. He 32nd ranked offense with the Jets versus the 32nd ranked defense with the Washington Commanders. Also, Brian Costello from the Post, 1 TD for the Jets in the first quarter all year. And this was awesome. So I saw this. They had a whole article about backup quarterbacks in the NFL. So Zach Wilson has now thrown, after the player of the week against the Texans, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, completion percentage was 60%, went down. Okay, but this is the thing. Zach Wilson has cost the Jets more points this season, 131.39, than Brock Purdy, who leads the league in EPA, 122.41. He's cost them more points. And is an MVP favorite has produced for the Niners. He's cost them more points than Brock Purdy has produced for the Niners. Wilson is also losing more than a third of a point every time he touches the ball. So they weren't happy with him. They went to Tim Boyle. He was worse than they put back by Wilson. By this article I read in The Athletic, there's a gap of 232.5 points between the Rodgers of recent vintage and Wilson plus a dash of Boyle, by far the biggest in our spreadsheets. Just a humongous chasm into which you can hear Jets fans' dreams crashing every weekend. Give the Jets those 232 points, and according to the predictable relationship between scoring and winning known as the Pythagorean expectation, they'd be 10-3 instead of 5-8. Give them half those points, and they'd be 8-5. How about that? So he's given up more points than Brock Purdy has led the Niners to in EPA, expected points. I always get that. I always find that EPA. Yeah, let me EPA football expected points. EPA NFL. Okay, so EPA is the quantifies how many points a team added to their expected point total. A team can add expected points by getting the ball closer to the goal line, getting a first down, or crossing the goal line itself. It measures the difference between a team's expected points before the snap and after the play. So he's cost them over. He's cost them a shitload. That's all I got to say to you. I saw that. I was like, 200. Oh my God. He's cost them 131. So you're already behind the eight ball. Every time he snaps, they're losing half a point, a third of a point. Every time he touches the ball, a third of a point. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Josh, Aaron, take that to heart. Yeah, do they suck? Oh, do they suck? The Jets suck. The Jets suck. And two teams, the Vikings are switching from slit film turf, which now only the Colts and the Bengals. So now we got 15 teams with grass, 15 with turf, because remember, Giants and Jets, Rams and Chargers. Rams play tonight against the Who's playing Thursday Night Football tonight? Rams are hosting the why am I Saints. Rams Saints tonight. Where's the game tonight? Is it in LA? I think the game's in LA tonight. Is it in LA? Yeah, there's no local the Devils are hosting the Oilers. We're going tomorrow night. I just got the confirmation, so we're going to Keen Steakhouse for the King Cut Prime Rib. Oh, and you got the Boca Raton Bowl tonight, USF versus Syracuse. Syracuse is a 3-point favorite at 8 p.m. And then tonight you have where's the NFL? Yes, Rams hosting tonight on Prime. Both teams 7-7 fighting for a playoff spot. And then I called my mom, so we never did Hanukkah, and my mom is making a prime rib on Saturday night. So I'm double dipping on prime rib Friday and Saturday night and going to the Ranger game. And I'm thinking about getting a jersey tomorrow. I'm thinking about it. I don't have a jersey. Michigan, maybe tomorrow I'll get a jersey. Go a little crazy. But funds are low. But, sometimes you got to live. You got to live a little la vida loca. So the Vikes are switching from slit film turf because they're complaining a lot of injuries players to something called a monofilament version Act Global Extreme Turf DX. Good. And Mason Rudolph first start for Cincinnati, hasn't started since 2021. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They're 7-7, but they did beat the Bengals earlier this season. The Bengals are 8-6, and Jamar Chase is out. I wrote Chase Young, but Jamar Chase. I knew what I wrote, fixed it, cleaned it up. And tug of war was added to the Pro Bowl games. Why? Why do we care? Well, I don't care. I really don't care. And Josina Anderson, listen to this one. Now, I don't know if this is true, but Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson is at his asking price for next year to be a head coach in the NFL is at least $15 million per season. $15 million. So would you pay Ben Johnson, who's never been a head coach, $15 million? But I'm thinking, you know what? It is such a precarious, volatile position that I guess he's thinking, hey, if things don't work out, I'll come and I'll stay with the Lions another season. There are going to be some desperate teams willing to pay him what he wants. $15 million. I guess the price is going up for everybody. So what does that mean? I guess, coaches are going to be making $25 million a year. I mean, $15 million. Hey, if you can get it, go for it. Yeah, I say why not? Oh, and is Harbaugh leaving? Because level 1 charges versus Harbaugh, allegedly misleading investigators and allegedly providing false or misleading information during of recruiting infractions during the COVID-19 dead period. They're really going after him for that. I mean, what was he doing? He had guys on campus. I mean, he was doing terrible things, right? Having kids around campus. So they really want to go after him now. That's what we're going. NCAA, that's a little nitpicky in my book. Little nitpicky. And you see the picture I have up? Wembanyama and Connor Bedard met each other for the first time and exchanged jerseys. The number 1 picks in the NBA and NHL. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, there's a huge, and Bedard has been great. He's going to be good. He's going to be good for years to come. I'm excited to see what he's going to do out there. That'll be good. Very good. Yeah. So talk about Mitchell Robinson. Becky Hammond had her piece. Yeah. DiVincenzo had 23 last night. Hart had 10 points, 13 rebounds. Brunson had 16, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Quickly at 19. First win in Brooklyn almost 4 years. Yeah. They got RJ Barrett at 14 points, 5 rebounds. Cam Thomas, 20 points. I don't know why he sat him in the fourth quarter, though. That's why I'm like, why'd you sit him? Why would you sit your, why would you, was he saving him for another game? I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the Nets going forward. Trae Young, I love all these stats. So Trae Young, 30-plus points and 10-plus assists, 5 consecutive games. Only Big O, Oscar Robinson did it twice. Russell Westbrook did it. MJ, Nate Archibald, and Trae Young. That's about it. Okay, so great. Okay. 30 points, 30-plus points, 10-plus assists in 5 consecutive games. Okay, so let's, you know what? So you know what that makes you look at? Let's see what the Hawks did in those 5 games. Did they win those games? Because I always like that stuff, and then I'm like, Hawks schedule. Let's look at the schedule. Okay, here we go. Schedule. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. So their last. Okay, I'm trying to get it. Okay, so today is December 21st. They play tomorrow. 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2. So they went 3-2 in those 5 games. Great. Hey, Joe Willie has joined us. Yes, he has. Yeah. I'm like, okay, great. Now the Sixers beat the Wolves, 51, I said, from Embiid. But Embiid was the first player since Kareem in 72. 12 straight games, 30-plus points, 10-plus rebounds. He has more points, 843, than minutes played, 819. 51. He was upset about the free throw he missed. He said the glaring lights must have got to me. 17 of 25, 17 of 18. They're 19-8. Wolves fell to 20-7. They've lost 2 in a row. They were 20-5. And Ant had 27. Cat had 27-13. And Maxey, who they said should be a all-star this year, had 35. But Embiid, I guess he's going for back-to-back. And the Clippers have won 9 straight. I saw that. The Clippers beat the Mavs. They're 17-10. Mavs are 16-11. They're 1 shy of breaking the longest streak in a decade. Love the Lakers, 1-4 the last 5. They lost to the Bulls, who are 7-3 since Zach LaVine got injured. So the Bulls are 12-17, Lakers 15-13. But Embiid is, I mean, he's having a phenomenal season, and he sat out all these fourth quarters. So, I mean, think of all the stuff he's done this season. Very impressed with him. Very impressed with him. Yes. Yes. Guys are quiet today. Very quiet today. Yeah, Celts won back-to-back without Tatum. Only scored 144 points. They are now 21-6 and leading the East. Kings fell to 16-10. And Jamal Murray, talked about him. UNC, talked about them. Texas women 12-0. First time since 2015-16 season when they lost in the Elite 8 to UConn. They beat University of Texas Rio Grande Valley 151-104 yesterday. Is Nick's Donovan about to happen? Oh, for what? How's that happening? They just lost Mitchell Robinson. You think they're going to make a big trade now because they lost Mitchell Robinson? No, I don't think that's happening. Are you talking about from the Cavs? They've been talking about that forever. What are you giving up, the whole team to get him? So they'll have 2 players and no bench? Are you giving up quickly? I mean, I don't think they have enough pieces to give away. And what are you giving up, Randall and everybody? And then you have 2 guys, and what if they each can score 60 a game? Then yeah, both of them. But Donovan Mitchell, I don't. You have a lot to give up for him, Bumbles. A lot to give up for him. That'd be a lot. Yes, what does it matter if he's a New York guy? Yeah, okay, but we need him. I'm gonna need. What are you giving up for him? What are you giving up for him, dude? I mean, that's a lot to give up. I don't know. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't get. But what does that mean? Well, what smoke are you giving up? Are you smoking? Are you telling me you're smoking right now? Or is there smoke that you're giving up? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Draft picks. You really think they want draft picks? Did you see that this year's draft is going to suck? So nobody wants anybody in this year's draft. I think they want players they know are going to play. They said this could be one of the worst drafts ever in the history of the draft. That there's no consensus with number 1 pick. I mean, there will be some good players out of it, but no consensus, no generational talent, no Wembanyama, nobody. and that could be a problem. So I guess we're going to see what happens on that front. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Oh, with meaning Mitchell, where there's smoke with Mitchell. Yeah, I guess I don't get that saying. So what does that mean? So is that they should go after? So you guys all think they should go after Mitchell? Yeah. Well, what are they giving up, Rob? You're giving up everything. I mean, how many guys do you have to give? I mean, if we went down the list, so R.J. Barrett, you give up Randall, right? That's two. And does Cleveland want R.J. Barrett? You know, I mean, Donovan Mitchell is a proven. He's tier one. I mean, you got to give a lot of guys, and are you giving up quickly Randall, Barrett to get him? Because I don't think you're going to get 2 for 1. I think they're going to want 3 players at least for him. So I don't know. And draft picks in a couple years. I mean, sometimes that I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I just, yeah, I don't know. Hey, your Isles lost last night. Yeah, he's a star, but is he enough to get the? And then what do you do? You got DiVincenzo, you got Josh Hart, you got Donovan Mitchell, and you got Brunson. Now you're losing a lot of scoring out of Randall. You're losing R.J. Barrett with his defense. Quentin Grimes, is he stepping up? I mean, who's stepping up? DiVincenzo's going to have to play a lot of minutes. Now you got to worry about Hartenstein. He's got to be Hartenstein's playing 21 minutes a game. You're going to need him to play a lot more minutes because now you don't have Robinson. Now, is he a guy that can play 30 minutes a game? Or does his game start going off? How's his conditioning? You know, foul trouble, all that stuff. You know, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of ifs. And the Knicks are what they're 16 and 11? It's not like they're like barnstormers this year. You know, I mean, they lost to a Suns team with only Devin Booker, no KD, no Beal. They lost in Utah. Yeah, great. They beat the Lakers. Aren't that good? They beat Clippers. No, they couldn't beat the Clippers. But the Clippers, they lost. They lost in LA too. So no. They won 9 straight, dude. Dude, they've won 9 straight. They're playing good basketball. Hey, it doesn't matter. Once the playoff comes, Harden becomes the invisible man. You know, regular season's great. It's great for positioning, seeding, and all that stuff. But, you know, you're paying these guys for the postseason. And I want to see what these guys could do postseason. What's that? You're saying the Knicks beat the Lakers? Lakers aren't that good, dude. And Lakers won the in-season tournament. Lakers, how good are the Lakers? How many teams out there are really good? I want to see, can they beat the Sixers? Can they beat the Celtics? You know, those teams. Those are the teams I'm concerned about. Can they beat the Bucks in a 7-game series? Are they going to beat Giannis 4 times? I don't think so. Are they going to beat Embiid 4 games? I don't think so. And Celtics are a much better team than they are. They play as a team too. You got Brown and Tatum. I mean, that is a very good team. And I don't think the Knicks are. What I don't understand what you mean. So the Lakers are 50. The Lakers aren't good. That's what I'm trying to. What are you telling me? I'm trying to understand. The Knicks are not that good. They're not a good team. Yeah, if Kawhi is healthy, I know. Yeah, if Kawhi is healthy, Rob says Harden disappearing won't matter. Yes, it will. They will need him. Listen, Rob, in the playoffs, you all need all these guys. Bumbles. I don't think they're that. Knicks are not that good, dude. Knicks are not that good. They're okay. All right, you know what? I'm looking it up right now. That's why you got me worked up. So now I'm gonna go look at. I'm looking at standings. Hold on a sec. Let's see what the Knicks. Let's look at the standings. I want to see how the Knicks are doing. Let's see here. Standings. Okay, here we go. Okay. Slowly but surely, the computer starts working. Okay. The Celtics are 14-0 at home, 7-6 away. Bucks are 15-2 at home, 5-5 away. Sixers 11-4 at home, 8-4 on the road. Magic 11-3 at home, 5-7 away. Knicks 7-3 at home, 9-8. 9-8. They're 500 on the road. Division, they're 3-3. Conference, they're 12-6. They played all right. Points per game, their plus-minus differential is 3.3, which is better than Orlando, which I think is playing over their heads right now. So they probably have flipped there. The Sixers are plus 11.3 in point differential. Milwaukee's plus 5.5, and Boston's 9.1. And in the West, T-Wolves are 11-1 at home, 9-5. You know what's crazy? In the West, the only 2 teams. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, it's interesting. So the T-Wolves are over 500 on the road. So are the Thunder. The Mavericks are better on the road than at home. And the Suns are under 500. Suns are 7-8 at home, 7-5 on the road. See, they're playing all right. I still think, guys, we've played 27 games. So, yeah, we're getting close to halfway through the season. Right now, they're the 5th seed. They'd play at the Magic, which I give them a good shot against. And then from there, they would play 1-8, 2-7, 3-6, 3. So one would play 8. I always get this confused. So one would play 4. So they would play the Celtics second round, which would not be good. But hey, you're not terrible. You got a point. All right. You know, your Isles lost last night, but 3-2 in overtime. Bo Horvat had an 11-game point streak ended. Oh, and baseball. Did you guys see this? Baseball. So with a runner on base. Wait, okay. So, Rob, you said the Knicks are between the 4th and 6th best team in the East without Robinson. And you think that's going to hold the rest of the season? Dude, you need a big guy that's going to get rebounds and, block some shots and stuff. I think it's been one game. They played a Nets team who isn't very good. Let's give it some time. Let's give it some time. We shall see. And baseball pitch timer with runners on base has gone from 20 seconds to 18, and they extended the baseline. Used to be the dirt. Now it's going over to the end of the outfield grass. And mound visits, because fans didn't like that, 5-4. I mean, how many goddamn mound visits do you goddamn need? I mean, really, honestly, you don't need that many mound visits. That's ridiculous. You don't need that shit. Yeah, I mean, come on. So I talked about, backup quarterbacks, but what do you guys think? I think I like the pitch clock. I think speed up. It's still slow as shit to me. I know. And then what do you think? I was talking to Rob about the Mets pickups from the Brewers, the pitcher and the outfielder who's more like and Rob likes it because he says he can start, relieve. That's a guy you can have a fill-in guy. What do you call it? What did Rob call it? Rob called it a forget what he called it. Yeah, he said it's swingman. Yeah, Hauser. What do you think about Hauser and Taylor? So that both are up for arbitration. Hauser's going to make 5.6. Taylor's projected to make 1.7. And so now you guys are going to be the New York Brewers, right? Is that what? But I mean, hey, you think Hauser's coming into his own? Okay, I never saw Hauser pitch in my life. I didn't even know who Hauser was. But okay, well, you're the Met guy, so now you got Senga, Quintana, Severino, McGill, Lucchesi, Budo, and David Peterson. I guess that's going to be your team. Hauser's a big dude. Is he a big dude? Tall? Let me see. What's Adrian Hauser? Throws mid-90s. Okay. And, he can start or relieve. Okay. All right. I think that Rob is says he's going to be a glue guy, a guy that can help out. So I'm like, okay. All right. So Rob, you're both in unison with each other, which I like. I like that everybody's on the same page. Yes. So I talked. Browns. They got Deshaun Watson, PJ Walker, and then you had to play Dorian Thompson Robinson. So Joe Flacco, they've still lost 81 points this season by playing their backups. How about the Colts? Minshew, he actually came in for Richardson in the 2 games he got injured. Coming to the season, he was a capable backup, 32 career games, 24 starts, 63% of his passes completed for more than 7 yards per attempt, and at a TD interception ratio of 3-1. He got $3.5 million. They've lost 5.2 points on offense with him replacing Richardson. That's a guy that the Jets could have gotten. Could have got Gardner Minshew. But no, they stuck with Zach Wilson. And I thought this was hilarious. So I read an article about Boxing Day back in 93. And that was the first time Leroy Butler jumped into, that was the beginning of the Lambeau Leap on Boxing Day. So there was an article, Harbaugh left to sign with Indianapolis. He said that the fans treated him so savagely through the 93 season that Bears president Michael McCaskey got philosophical. Listen to this one. I think what we're seeing is a sea change in people's attitudes toward athletes, entertainers, and politicians. I'll leave it to the sociologists to decide whether it's television, an emphasis on instant gratification, advertising, the disappearance of Latin from the school curriculum, or the weakening of the nuclear family. I thought that was hilarious. Like, I just thought, and then, he led them to a AFC championship game against Pittsburgh, I remember. I think that was 95, where he had a Hail Mary at the end that got knocked down, and that's in the Super Bowl was 96. Well, the 95 season, 96 Super Bowl, where Dallas beat Pittsburgh 21-17, and I won $500 in the Super Bowl pool. I remember that, yes. And of the 28 quarterbacks on pace to take part in at least 400 plays this season, just 12 have produced positive expected points added for their teams. Yeah. That number is on the low side, though, not completely crazy. It's ranged from 11 to 21 a year since 2013. So they said there are never enough good quarterbacks to give every team in the league a productive full-time starter, and they're harder to replace than astronauts. I agree. There's a lot of shitty quarterbacks. So tonight we have, as I said, they'll kick off Week 16 hosting, the Rams host the Saints, and they're both 7-7. Matthew Stafford, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last 5 games, and they've won 4. They've gone 4-1 of those. And Derek Carr had his best game against the Giants, but that's not saying much. Rams are a 4.5-point favorite. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, and Kyle, okay, did you see the Drew Lock interview? Yeah, I did. I talked about it. I'm happy for the guy. He got a win like that. Dude, he hadn't had a game-winning drive in 1,142 days. Come on, Rob. Rob, of course I talked about it. Talked about it days ago. Rob, you're getting things confused here. No, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Oh, man, dude, he was totally emotional. Rob, he was getting all choked up. Totally. It was beautiful. I love it. I'm rooting for the Saints tonight, man. I am not that I used to like Matthew Stafford. I don't like the Rams. I don't give a shit. And Kyle Umlang, he's from Texas. He said Santa Claus has delivered presents to 133 trillion children aged 0 to 14 since Texas A&M's last national championship, which is the equivalent of 1.29 million sellout home games at Kyle Field. Thought that was pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Aggie Fact Thursday. I thought that was hilarious. And Christian McCaffrey is on a 17-game pace to score 428.7 fantasy points. He joined Marshall Faulk, Priest Holmes, and LaDainian Tomlinson as the only running backs to ever have multiple 400-point seasons. In 2019, he had 471 in 16 games. Thank you, Mike Florio, for that. Yeah. He would join Falk and LT as the only running backs to have 3 seasons with 380-plus fantasy points. And Jalen Ramsey for Miami, 19.9 passer rating in his coverage area. 11 of 27 have been completed against him. No touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's pretty impressive. That is very impressive. Very, very impressive. Yeah, and I talked about the Devils. So they're involved with a nonprofit focused on providing access to the game for inner city kids from underrepresented communities. Starting with a handful of young players 2 decades ago, they've granted free training and free equipment to more than 5,000 kids around New Jersey. And co-founders are Keith Veltre and Dennis Rupe. They partner with another duo with Jack and Luke Hughes. So it's at the Ironbound Recreation Center honoring HHJ, which is, what is the H? So you'll find Hockey New Jersey. That's what it's called. HNJ, Hockey New Jersey. Pretty cool. Very cool. I thought that was nice. And Ohtani won, for the second time in 3 years, won the AP Player of the Year. He finished ahead of Messi and Djokovic. And Jokic for the Nuggets got 4th place. So I was like, all right. So guys, I did a show earlier today, and I did it early in the morning. So Michigan's coming home soon, I think. Is she coming home soon? And I wanted to do a show. So that's what I was like, yeah. This is, oh, wow. 1442. Oh, yeah. So I'm trying to get, I have a trivia question, too. All right. So, Bumbles, you're going to know this trivia question. Last show's trivia question was, do you remember Brian Taylor, the number 1 pick by the Yankees? So, do you know what? So Do you know how he injured his shoulder on December 18th, 1993? He's only one of two players never, a number one pick, never to pitch in the major leagues. He got into a fight on that night. He went to the home of a man who had previously fought with Taylor's older brother, Brendan. When Taylor confronted the other man, another fight broke out. He dislocated his shoulder and tore his labrum as a result of falling to the ground during the altercation. And Taylor's agent, Scott Boras, said to Yahoo in 2006, I can remember Surgeon Frank Jobe sitting me down. He said, this is one of the worst shoulder injuries I've ever seen, and I believe that the way he tore it was unnatural. Missed the 94 season recovering from surgery. He played 4 more seasons, but never got above A-ball. Was released in 98. He made 5 disastrous appearances in Cleveland's Class A affiliate in 2000, 9 walks, 2 at batsmen, and 7 wild pitches in 2 2/3 innings. He hung it up. So him and Steve Chilcott are the only players since the draft was introduced in 1965 to be taken first and never make the majors. After retiring, he moved to Raleigh with his 5 daughters, worked as a UPS package handler, then worked as a beer distributor. In 2006, he moved back home, was working as a bricklayer with his father. In 2012, he was charged with cocaine trafficking after undercover narcotic agents purchased a large quantity of cocaine and crack cocaine from him over a period of several months. He was federally indicted on cocaine trafficking charges in June 2012, pled guilty in August, served 50 months, and followed by 3 years supervised release. He was released from prison on September 12th, 2015. I was like, damn. But I remember him. So, Rob, young guys don't remember that, but I know Bumbles remembers Brian Taylor. And I remember he got into that fight, and he was supposed to be can't miss. They said he was that good. We never saw it. Got into a fight, career over. What could have been, what was, 2 different things. All right, today's trivia question, what New York Giant has the most receiving, what New York Giant tight end has the most receiving yards in a game? And I didn't know this. I thought it is no one I know. This is this before Bumble's time? I think this is even before Bumble's time. So that's the hint I'll give you. It is not. Yes. So today is what New York Giant has the most yards receiving as a tight end in franchise history. Who has the most receiving yards as a Giants tight end in franchise history? That's all. No one's going to get it. I was looking for a different, I forgot to have a question, so I jumped the gun, and that's my question today. So I saw that, I was like, damn, sorry, guys. And it's no one I know. No one I know. So I was like, okay. And Zion Williamson, illness, not COVID, is out tonight. So we just talked about Zion Williamson missing games, and yeah, he is missing some games. He's sick tonight. Jimmy Butler's out tonight. See if I miss anything. Notre Dame transfer receiver Tobias Merriweather is headed back west and will play for Cal. Good for him. And Kyle McCord grew up in Jersey and wanted to play back east. So he went back east. That's why he went to Syracuse. I was like, all right, dude. Yeah. All right. I was like, all right. A lot of no Blake Cashman, no Will Anderson or CJ Stroud isn't playing. So, and Luka Doncic won't play Friday in Houston with a quad injury. And Kyrie Irving, is he out every other goddamn game? Oh wow! So this is something for Bubbles. Let me see if it comes up. I just saw it. Oh man. Let me see. I was trying to get that. Let me see. This is Bumbles is a big St. John's fan. He said, at 98 years young, Lou Carnesecca is still around at St. John's. In fact, at one of Rick Pitino's preseason practices, Louis called the Red Storm head coach over to ask him a question. Wow. Oh, he did? Oh, let me. I want to hear this.
And I said, sure I do, Coach. Oh, I went too long without giving him a water break. Guys, wash out. Coach wants you to get some water. So he's great to have around.
Really cool. You believe in water? And Net99 has joined us. All right, guys. I want to send my love to Michigan in a game or history. Oh, in a game. In a game. One game, Rob. Rob, you're never going to get this. You're going to have to look this one up because I didn't know who this guy was. This is way before my time, dude. So this is even before my time. But a guy you would think, the guy I thought was number one was Bavaro. He is not. But Bavaro's second. So I thought it was Bavaro. Bavaro was second, and there's a lot on this list. So I was like, oh damn. So I want to send my love to Michigan. My mom, Mrs. S. Prime Rib Rangers tomorrow. Rob, it was great having you. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a tough day. If I do one, I got to do one early in the morning because Michigan's out of work early before Christmas. And then I'll be honest with you, everybody's going to be doing Christmas stuff this weekend. So I'm going Christmas Eve somewhere. I'm going Christmas Day somewhere. There's going to be a lot of football, which is good. I'll talk about it after the fact. And yeah, so Rob, have a safe ride home. Bumbles, thanks for listening. Net 99.99. Thank you. Kev, Josh, guys, you're great. 2-show day, and I'm a little beat. So that's all I got for today. All right. So peace out, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Adios, amigos.